So what makes North Point Marina and Winthrop Harbor so special? Let's start with the Welcome Center. Central to the marina, this picturesque and well-maintained building contains the harbor office and beer garden lounge. Outdoor seating is available on the building's deck or on the adjacent grassy area picnic tables. Live music is sometimes available on the stage. Harbor Brewing runs the beer garden and offers local varieties of beer, wine, and spirits during the afternoons and into the evenings. A ship's store and general concourse can also be found within the building. This is a great place to hang out, find out what's what, and get plugged in with the other marina residents. During the weekend, an open-air pop-up market materialized with local creatives offering their wares for sale. The marina's website is well organized and has a lot of useful information. One of the most useful pieces of information for the visitors is the dock map, as well as contact information. Links to affiliated services are available, such as to Skipper Bud's for boat service, storage, and the fuel dock, the Harbor Brewing Beer Garden, Tropics Restaurant, the Winthrop Harbor Yacht Club, and many other services. One can reserve a dock slip through the website powered by Dockwa, which is a fairly standard reservation system engine used by many Great Lakes marinas. Looking at the dock layout, this facility has enough dock space to accommodate approximately 1,200 vessels ranging between 30 and 108 feet. They have 30 amp 120 volt, 50 amp 120 volt, or 50 amp 220 volt hookups. Each dock has a heavy door with a key code access panel. The code allows residents or transients to access their individual dock as well as all bathrooms. There's plenty of space between the docks, which is great for maneuvering your vessel or providing an extra degree of quiet and privacy, or at least some containment to the merriment. Large boats can easily access dockage without having to navigate into the finger docks. There is a wide alleyway and large docks immediately accessible from that alleyway. There is ample room to navigate in this area. While I was visiting on a holiday weekend, there were a plethora of docks available at this very accessible location, though note, it is also furthest from the central marina welcome area, which can be either good or bad, depending on your preference for quiet or social time. Once docked, this marina will provide you with most of what you might wish for. You would have access to the beer garden area, pointed out earlier in this video, the Tropics Restaurant for food. Both locations have indoor and outdoor seating areas. The restaurant has lots of food options. For those who belong to a yacht club, reach out to the Winthrop Harbor Yacht Club. You might likely find reciprocity honored there. But note that the hours of operation seemed limited during our stay. There are a large number of bathroom buildings at North Point Marina spanning across the facility so that no dock requires too long of a walk. The bathrooms are clean and have plenty of space for showering and refreshing on a daily basis. There is a pool area available for a day use fee. There are also options for boat rental and fishing charters. Winthrop is far enough away from Chicago or other large cities so that the light pollution is largely mitigated. The sunrises and sunsets are beautiful here. The stars are bountiful at night. Probably the most important selling point of this marina for me is the welcoming community. That building in the center of the marina really sets the tone for an open and inviting boating community at this location. Everyone is generally happy or seems happy and easygoing, and with food and beverage readily available for those who don't want to cook or are neglected to bring their own food or beverages, there is little lacking for a weekend stay. The Winthrop Harbor Beach is a short walk to the south and offers a quiet and pleasant venue for viewing sunrises and sunsets. The beach is also relatively protected and inviting for swimmers. There are some less than optimal observations about this marina I would like to share. The electrical posts, especially on the last transient dock that accommodates the largest vessels, were a bit dilapidated and not all of them were working. All of the posts serving the east side of that dock seemed to be 220 volt 50 amp, while the post opposite and serving the west side of the dock seemed to be 110 volt 50 amp. As I have a 110 volt system, I was able to get my electricity working, connecting to a vacant post on the west side of the dock, despite my being on the east side of the dock. Having an extra cable to act as an extension cord and a 30 amp to 50 amp adapter was a must at this facility. The bathroom building, nearest to my dock, but furthest away from the main building, had a hand dryer in disrepair. And the water either took an incredibly long time to draw hot water, or the bathroom building just did not have hot water. I had to take a cold shower on my first day there, but I used a different bathroom building on the following day, and everything there was functioning great. I suspect that's true for most of the bathroom buildings. We were not provided with access to Wi-Fi at this location. The service desk attendants were not the friendliest or most informative that I have encountered compared to other marinas. Compared to the Michigan State Park portals, DACWA seems to be substandard. It is in essence an email form, and the reservation does not include a dock map, so you have to do research ahead of time if you want to designate a particular dock to request. And then you will have to wait for a response to find out if that particular dock is even available. The Michigan State Park Service lets you know right away whether or not certain docks are available on certain dates. So for DACWA and this marina, it's best to call ahead would be my recommendation. As I stayed 2 nights in this marina, I had a day to meander and explore. I noticed on the map that just north of North Point Marina, across the state border in Wisconsin, was the Prairie Harbor Yacht Club and Marina. I took a walk over there through a short and fun walking path. However, as I closed in on the entrance, I found a gate with a fob reader and no call button. I looked up the harbor office phone number on my phone and called the harbor office. I then requested a tour. My request was granted by a super friendly harbor master who was extremely proud of his facility. All right, so we just got done with our tour of the Prairie Harbor Yacht Club, and it was illuminating. We talked to Matt, the harbor master, and he walked us through the facility. And you know, he really emphasized this is a private place. They do allow transients, but they like their quiet, and we didn't want to disturb that by bringing out cameras and trying to take video along the way. And he was very proud and willing to show us the facility, so we didn't want to take advantage anyway. And it was great. We just had a nice little visit, pristine location right on. It has a beautiful view of Lake Michigan. They have their own private beach. They have a marina with big wide channels, and the pool, they have a pool that overlooks the lake. It's really, really nice. The clubhouse, warm, breathed wood. It's a lot of history in it. They're very proud of the history of this location. So, and they've got brand new docks. They facilitate up to 80-foot vessels, 150 slips. And again, it's kind of like a higher end luxury sort of location. So it is easy to get in and get out. And you know, everything is updated, and you're not going to have any problems about dilapidated anything. Everything's going to be nice and pristine in here. Downside is no real restaurant, no real bar. To get anywhere for some entertainment might be a little bit of a challenge. Lastly, I wanted to provide footage of entering and exiting the harbor. So if you plan your visit to the harbor, you can see firsthand how it looks to either enter or exit and navigate through that channel. Thanks to all my subscribers for watching. I really appreciate your support. If you have stayed to the end, please consider pressing that like button. It would help my channel a lot. It helps us grow. This is Sailor Eric. Thanks for watching.